welcome to the show. And we have a lady with us that we met over 6 years ago, and our association was so much fun that we thought it would be great to have a chat today. Welcome, Trish Hart.
Hi, how are you, Shaz?
Fantastic. Look, it's been a pretty incredible association that we had. Our paths crossed and we had the opportunity to record a film clip for you, yes, which was probably one of the most exciting clips that we've done. We've done a lot over the years, but yours was very special. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, it was, and it was, I'm not sure whether we'd say it was graphic, but yeah, it was a good experience for me and my friends. We really loved doing it, and especially the bodybuilder actor that we had join us for the clip. And I was really spun out actually about the whole process, and I'm really glad you were there to guide us all through it.
It was great, and whenever you're on camera, I think the most important thing is to capture that natural, the natural talent and just the fun and frivolity of any situation. The boys had never done anything like that before, no. So they were quite nervous to begin with. But by the end of it, everyone was just totally relaxed and having a great time. And the clip was absolutely fantastic. It's amongst my favourites that we've done.
Oh, great! Thank you. Yeah. Oh well, it's absolutely one of my favourites too.
Yeah. The song that we did do. Tell us a little bit about the song.
Well, actually, the song I wrote for a rock band that I was in moons ago, and I decided to country it up, and I had to change a few things with it, but it was about something I was witnessing at the time when I wrote it, and I didn't know how to process it, so I wrote the song to process it really, and get my head around what was going on.
Yeah. And you've done a bit of writing over the years. It's part of your arsenal.
Yes, I do. I sort of use it as my diary, especially when something hits me, and it might be something I've seen yesterday, and then like next week something will happen, and then I'll think, and then I'll start writing a song. It just depends on what other things are impacting me at the time. Like, for example, one time I was sitting in the RSL club, I think, on the Gold Coast with my husband having dinner, and I just looked up at the bar and it had all these bubbles, and they were advertising strawberry champagne. And then I said to him, I have to go home, I've got to write a song. And I wrote Strawberry Bubbles, which is on my album. Songwriting
is a very personal account, isn't it? And it's a personal form of expression.
Yes.
And you find that very therapeutic for you as well?
I think if I hadn't written the songs I've written, I'd gone nuts. Especially when I was younger, because you're in a place where you're just trying to work out the world and how the world works and where you fit into the world, and things that you see. A lot of my album was all about what I was witnessing and feeling at the time, and what I was going through myself. Yes, yeah. So it was just, how do I, people write in a diary. Well, I wrote songs. That's what I find that the easiest way for me. Even I wrote a song about when I lost my dog, because I adored him, and I just wrote a song about that to help me process my grief,
Yes. And you were born in country music capital?
No, I wasn't born here. Right. I moved here when I was 17.
Okay.
So I've been here. I did that. I reckon I did most of my growing up here though.
So you're almost a local girl.
Well, I was here 17 years, so yeah, I don't know. Do they make us local by then? But I moved here. Then my family followed me.
Oh, okay. I thought you came here with your family.
No, so I kept saying how wonderful the place was, so they moved over.
What brought you to country music capital?
I actually came here to go to TAFE. I was doing TAFE when I met a fellow, and I was modelling at the time. So I did some modelling, met the drummer of the band that I joined. So I joined that band, and sort of the rest of it went from there.
And that was a rock band at the time?
It was a rock band, yes.
What was the name of that group?
Token.
Yeah, okay.
And we toured all around New South Wales. And we even got to support Skyhooks when they toured in 1990, so that was absolutely wonderful.
One of your highlights?
Oh, yeah. Big Skyhooks fan. Love them, yeah. And we got to party with them afterwards, which was fabulous as well. Mm-hmm.
It would have been interesting spending that time in country music capital when you were predominantly a rock chick at the time.
It was, and it was funny because I hadn't thought about my genre. Do you know what I mean? So I was just going with being a muso at the time and learning, which that was a very good sink or swim learning curve being with those guys. They just threw me in the deep end and I came out.
And you were the lead singer?
I was one of them, yeah. I was the girl. I think at the time, actually, I was doing The Sound of Music, actually, with Felicity Urquhart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Felicity and I were doing The Sound of Music with the Musical Society.
Yes.
And it was all sort of all happening at the same time. And then he said, oh, well, we've got a band and come along. And they were playing at the Leagues Club, I think it was a Thursday night. So I went along and they said, oh, just get up and sing some harmonies. And I did that. And then they went, okay, come along to band practice. And next minute I knew I was in the band, and we went and did one gig and they said, you've got to sing this song, you've got to know this song by next week. And I did one song, and then the next week I did 2 songs.
What took you away from Tamworth?
I met the love of my life.
And are you still with the love of your life?
I am still with him. But yeah, went to Melbourne. I got into the music scene in Melbourne, met some great musicians. Then my father unfortunately got very sick here in Tamworth, so I moved closer. So I moved to Newcastle, got in amongst that scene, met some fabulous musicians, met a fiddle player and a bass player who were country focused.
Okay.
And I was doing country as well by that stage, and it was like a melding of let's get it all together. And I was doing a lot of Shania stuff and Eagle stuff, and it was like, yep, we love that too, let's all get together. And then we incorporated my album in amongst our gigs, and yeah, it was just awesome.
So the show actually took on like a country rock feel, would that be right?
We specifically picked country rock type of artists, like we had Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood stuff, Shania stuff, the Eagles, we threw in some Doobie Brothers, that we were along that rocky, love Becky Cole and, Tanya Kernigan. We started off with that as well. So we sort of started off with the good Aussie basic country rock, rocking into the Americana, rockier, dancier stuff.
And that was a big time in Australia for that type of music. So you were getting a lot of work in that period, weren't you?
Yeah, it was great, and we were having a great time.
How many years did you work with that crew?
I think it was probably 6 years, like full on.
The clip with those boys, it was really quite fascinating because they were all very nervous at the start of it, and yet as the day progressed, they relaxed, and we ended up with this fantastic result. What did they say about it afterwards? How did they feel about the experience?
They loved it, and they were really, I think, excited to be part of something like that. They've all been playing music for so long, but they hadn't actually, I guess, experienced that in their journey.
I think being involved in anything like that bonds everybody, and they're memories that everyone carries through for the rest of time. I know that we'll never forget our time with you guys. It was just so much fun. Salamander Bay, right on the water.
Yes.
You picked a great location.
I know, and that house was fabulous.
It was.
It had so much character. All the neighbours got involved.
I know, it was great.
It was just, it was amazing, wasn't it?
It became a community event.
It did, yeah. And people were like, what's going on? Oh, film clip. Yay, let's get into this.
It's really quite funny, isn't it? You pull out a camera and everyone goes, yes!
Here we are. Get me in it.
Yeah. Like, you were just so natural. The camera loves you, and it was wonderful to work with you.
Yeah, I've been a bit of a show pony for a long time, I believe. So I was told. Used to sing into the vacuum cleaner.
What's some of the funny stories that you've experienced out on the road with the band? And we all have our stories.
One of the earliest gigs I did actually, you'd have a couple of drinks before the show, and one of the guys got me onto port and lemonade.
That's in rock music, not in country music.
Yes, that's in rock music. Very, very green I was, and I didn't quite. Yeah, I hadn't worked out I don't drink anymore when I do gigs. I drink after the gig, never before. Uh-huh. And yes, I'd had a few drinks. In that time, the boys would come out and do like a Blues Brothers set. So I had the whole set where I wasn't on stage. I would then come out and do a whole set, just girl stuff. And of course, no, I couldn't do that because I'd had a bit too much to drink, and I had to...
So we had Trish Hart with no Trish Hart for the night.
No, and then what we would do, third and fourth sets would be a mix. So the boys had to do all their songs in the second set, while these lovely girls that we had as friends, like the groupie girls that used to come and see us all the time, were sobering me up so I could do my next 2 sets. So yes, that was the one and only time I ever did that. Naughty, naughty. The joy of the music and the sharing of the music is what gets me. And I always find if you get it all to happen, it's the best feeling. Just magic.
You have those magic nights. I'd like to talk a little bit about your recording career. It's probably been secondary to your live performance for you.
Yes.
How have you enjoyed presenting yourself as a recording artist?
It was daunting, I have to say. For me, the recording was about getting my thoughts out of my head.
Do you ever wish that you'd pursued your recording career a little more?
Probably now I do. My biggest thing when I was growing up was I was very obsessed with finding my mate, finding my partner, and I had a couple of failed attempts at that. So once I have found the person that supports me 100%, yes, I then felt the confidence to then follow the recording.
It's much harder for girls than it is for blokes, and if you have that support, you can achieve a lot more.
Yes, and I was a bit cautious as to who I entrusted that with too, because it's so personal. And I was working with Tony Johns in Newcastle, who has been around forever and a day, and he suggested who I used to do that. So I used Overhead Studios and Mark Tinson. Thank you, Mark. His guidance was wonderful. He told me what I needed to do, and if something needed changing, you know, no holds barred, and that was good because I had no clue what I was doing.
Well, you and Tony are grey nomads now.
We are. I know, it's amazing. Finally, yay.
Yeah. Where to?
Around the whole beautiful country that we call home, and write some more songs about it, I think.
Excellent. And then come back and record them?
Yes.
So we might hear more of Trish Hart into the future?
Absolutely. There's definitely another album in there.
What style of music would you like to finish your career on?
I love so many different genres, but I think I'm probably more the country rock.
Well, we wish you all the best with your future.
Thank you.
And I know that you guys are going to have a great time. Australia has so many fantastic spots, yes, and this is your first trip right around.
Yes, this is our maiden voyage.
It's going to be magnificent for you. Yes. Wish you all the best, Trish, and we look forward to catching up when you get back to the East Coast again.
Yeah, thank you so much, and bring on all those wonderful musos that I can meet too.
We'll share your wonderful clip.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes.
Have fun. Trish Hart, thank you very much. Thanks for being with us, Trish.
Thanks, Shaz. Bye.
Bye.
You tie me up in all your fantasies. You get me calling out your name. You take me to the height of ecstasy. When you love me, you ease my pain. The darker the night, the deeper the sigh. You rule my mind, I sing your own. I no longer fight it, I don't ask you why. When I feel this way, I wanna explode. The heat of the night is taking over. I'm rising up like a flame. I'll do what you want.